Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Welcome to TPL Live. We are doing a pregame show of Sixers versus Cavs. We're going to talk about our expectations and what we want to see from tonight's game. Joining me today at the Wells Fargo Center is my man Jason. Follow him on Twitter at JBlevins NBA. What's up, Jason?
Hey, Chris. It feels like I just talked to you.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels that way. I don't know. It's been a while.
Also joining us is the man, the myth, the legend. He is on Twitter at Real Mike Small. Please go check out the Killing Me Smalls podcast. He is Mike. What's going on, dude?
What's up, Dives? What's up, guys?
What's up, Mike?
Here amongst greatness.
We are. Now that you're here.
We have Chris Dunn saying the Flyers are killing me. Help Sixers. We just got the news break that Ben Simmons is not playing tonight. No Ben, no Joel. No win? I don't know. We'll see.
Wait,
see.
what? What is this? I'm going home.
Also joining us is the man, Austin Krell. What's going on, Austin?
Not much. I thought I thought Ben would play tonight. I'm kind of surprised that he's not. Apparently, it was pretty last minute, so we'll see. I think it's a good sign they were able to handle the Bulls, who are better than the Kings are, without either guy. So we'll have to see. But
you don't think it's De'Aaron-itis, do you?
Well, it's funny that we were sitting there because he normally comes out. These players have a schedule for when they come out and warm up. It was 45 minutes before game time. Nobody was on the floor. I was like, this is about the time he leaves and Joel comes out. We know Joel's not here, but he hasn't been out on the floor. Then the text came out that he was out tonight. So
De'Aaron Fox has done very little against Ben Simmons. 7 points, 3 of 13 from the field, 31 possessions, negative 11 net. I don't think Ben Simmons is worried about De'Aaron Fox. Not even a little bit tonight.
All right, I take it back. I hate when facts and stats get away from my theory. Get me away.
Don't let facts get away with a good story.
Fox
like I was actually listening to your episode of Killing Me Smalls with Kevin Kincaid right before I came in here. So it was good.
Oh, cool. I hope you liked it.
It was good stuff. I did enjoy his perspective. He's a good dude.
He is a good dude.
Him and Mike broke down Philadelphia radio wars.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
He's good. I enjoy him.
We also got Justin here. Make sure you follow Justin at J_Persichetti. Justin, what's up?
Yo, how is everyone doing today? It's this first time I've seen a lot of you. Hi.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I know.
How is everyone doing?
Hey, listen.
I'm just laughing at this comment about Crow with the Seth Rogen.
A lot of people talking at the same time.
Listen, I do need a haircut. I need to get a haircut soon. I have a specialized barber at home that handles my mop on top of my head. So we'll
Did you just say you have a specialized barber, Austin?
I do.
All right, let's get into really the top story here, which is no Ben Simmons tonight. Let's start talking about starting lineups here. Does Tyrese Maxey get the start? Is it Shake Milton?
They just announced, so it's gonna be Shake Milton, Danny Green, Matisse Thybulle, Tobias Harris, and Tony Bradley.
Bradley, okay.
Damn, that's an all-star lineup right there.
I didn't get that.
Here we go, guys. What are your expectations for tonight's game?
Oh, okay. I see it.
I got a question for you guys. Why aren't the Kings really good? I mean, when you look at their roster, you think, man, they should be really good. What am I missing?
Their
inconsistent big man play.
Their defense is historically terrible. Like it's a historically terrible. They give up about 120 points per 100 possessions. So you can score on them at will. It's a revolving door.
Yeah, and I think that as much as we say it, we don't really believe it, but culture, I think, just matters. And I think they're just one of those franchises where the culture is just not conducive to consistent winning. I'm going to bring up the starters here. So I think when you look at some of the decisions they make around the types of players they bring in, They tend to be splash players. I think De'Aaron Fox is a fantastic player, but Marvin Bagley is a player that was just a big-time college empty stats guy, in my opinion, that didn't really bring much value to NBA play from a wins and losses standpoint. And I just think that's indicative of the kind of players that they bring in. They tend to have guys that are good on paper, but don't really lead to wins.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, you break them down, but I don't know. It just it seems to me that that's a lot of talent there, and it shouldn't be that hard to get one or two defenders with all the guys that they have. I mean, if you moved Harrison Barnes for a really good defender, is that a completely different team? And he's got value. I just don't understand why they can't get it together, because I love Halliburton. I love Fox.
I also think it's coaching. Like Luke Walton he was in LA. They had teams that even in LA, the talent probably wasn't as advanced as it is in Sacramento, but he's just never been a good defensive coach. Like he's never produced a defensive minded group, and I think that matters in this case for sure.
Okay.
But
he won't be there next year.
I don't think he will either. But I think they have a culture set forward that can be conducive to defense. You have Tyrese Halliburton, as you said, who I think who profiles as a really nice defender. Harrison Barnes is what he is, but he's still youngish. I don't think Buddy's ever going to be a good defender, really. But De'Aaron Fox, I think, maybe a little small, but I think he profiles as somebody that can be a good defender, can get under smaller guards and bother you a little bit, can fight over screens. So,
yeah, I just think that we're 3 or 4 coaches into this program, and it's hard to keep blaming the coach when I think it's a top-down issue. I really do.
Yeah, you guys could be right for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about
how bad is we talk about. Oh, Dibes, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, man. No, all you.
No, we talk about some of the draft busts like Okafor and Markelle Fultz, but man, they passed on Luka Doncic for Marvin Bagley. How bad that was.
Criminal.
Wowzers.
It looks bad, but it's just I feel like that happens so often in the NBA where a team will take a big man because it's hard to find good big men at times, and he projected well in college, so they picked the big man. I understand it. It's the same thing with DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree. I think there's a difference between a power forward taking a chance. At their best, power forwards typically very infrequently matter. They might be the icing on the cake. Very, very infrequently are they the difference maker.
Jason Tobias Harris is right behind you. He wants to have a word.
Yeah, well, okay. I don't think. I think there's a big difference taking a chance on a 6'10" guy versus taking a chance on a 7'1" guy. I do think it's a completely different gamble that you take, and they do take longer big men. But a guy like Bagley, to me, is just in that Duke sort of looks really
Jason,
good.
they should hire you in the Kings front office then.
No, because you know what? I like Stauskas. I'll be honest. I like that pick.
I gotta say,
I was completely wrong about that.
Bagley was my number 1 pick in that draft. I would have taken him.
I was not a fan of Bagley.
I wouldn't have taken him in the top 8.
I love Bagley.
I was not.
I loved him. I thought I saw him. I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be Bosh. This is that was what I thought he was.
I never saw.
You got to pay attention to the Duke curse, Krell. I've been telling you about this.
I like this coming.
Yeah, Duke knows how to recruit guys that look really good at 18 against other 18-year-olds, but they don't do a good job at converting 25-year-olds into really good players. They just don't.
I mean, take away Tatum, and now look at the rest of them for the last 10 years.
I mean, even Tatum really isn't that good. He's not.
Ooh.
Here we go.
That's a take right there.
That's he is a volume scorer on an inefficient number of shots. He just is.
I think that'll get better, to be honest, as his career goes on. You even listen to Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal had said the same thing about Jason Tatum. He said like he's got all these moves. He looks pretty and everything, but sometimes he's not good at shrinking it down and just focusing on little moves to get open and make easy shots. And I think that'll come with time. I don't know.
So you're still on the Tatum bandwagon.
Tatum. You know who my comp for Tatum was? My pre-draft comp for Tatum was Tobias Harris. I mean, it's just when I looked at Duke version of, it's who he looked like to me.
Yeah, but Tobias Harris was like a post player coming out of college.
No, he wasn't. No. I'm saying that Tobias Harris, as he was a Piston at the time that Tatum was drafted, and to me, I said that's what Jason Tatum's going to be.
Okay.
He's going to be.
I thought you were saying coming out of college, like when Tobias came out of college. Okay, I understand what you're
saying. When Tatum was coming out of college, I said, who do I see? What's the 25-year-old version of Jason Tatum? And I looked at a 25-year-old Tobias Harris, and I said that's the guy I believe he will turn into. We could argue whether he's a better player. He's certainly got a greener light.
So basically, like a year after the Sixers passed on Jason Tatum in the draft, they then traded for him.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Look, my tweets are clear. You can go back and look at. If you search my name and Tatum,
I like it.
You're going to see Tobias Harris as a comp.
I like it.
We have a comment here. The Kings were on their way to being a playoff team with Dave Yeager as their coach. Glad he's on our staff. The Sacramento Kings are worst in the NBA in defensive efficiency. The Sixers are second. Just that's a fun little fact there. Marky Mark says the Sixers G League team will start for the Sixers tonight.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Justin's all in for that one. Mike D says De'Aaron Fox is so hard to stop. He gets to the rim at will. I have a feeling he'll eat tonight. No Joel, no Ben. Matisse is going to have to slow him down. That's going to be probably the matchup to watch right there. We're getting a lot of Flyers comments. I love it. Are the Flyers still down 3-0? Anybody know what the score is?
I'll look. 1 sec. I'll look.
Right.
They're down 4-0 now.
We're getting some Tatum
with
4-0 now.
Who is minutes left?
What's up?
Rarefied air. Rarefied air.
Wait, is he calling Krell Mr. Ellie? Is that what I just?
Yeah, I don't know how to feel.
Oof.
I'm not going to open that can of worms here. All right. All right. So, what are our expectations today, guys? Jason, lead off with you. Like, what do you want to see tonight? And do the Sixers have enough to get the W?
Yeah, I think Mike D had it exactly right. You got to stop. You got to level De'Aaron Fox off, keep him from getting downhill. And I think that's just job number one. And if they do that, I think they'll be competitive. But it's going to be a disjointed game. They're missing 3 starters, so expect to see a lot of Tobias Harris, a lot of Shake Milton. Expect to see Tyrese Maxey tonight. So that'll be nice.
What about you, Mike?
Shake Milton, I think, is the key to the game, honestly, because I think, he's been so up and down lately. I don't know what's happened to his 3-point shot. It just looks as bad as it's coming out. If he gets back to being some semblance of the Shake Milton that we saw early in the year, and if Matisse does a nice job on Fox, then I've got plenty of confidence in the night.
What about you, Justin? Expectations?
My expectation is to see Paul Reed get some burn today. I think there is a legitimate chance you could see him today with Ben being out. Austin, you're muted, by the way, if you didn't know. I do think there's a legitimate shot he could get some minutes. The Kings have a pretty small center lineup, and also Ben, who ran a little bit of small ball 5 last game with Joel being out. I could see him getting some minutes, which I'm excited about.
All right, Austin, I'm going to throw it to you. What are your expectations tonight? And let's do a little film breakdown.
So, So I'm not on mute anymore. Good. So, for me, I think number one, you have to harp on transition D. It was a huge issue for them against the Bucks a couple days ago. Obviously, we saw that. I think just fatigue hit them in the second half, and at a bad time, Giannis was able to get out in open court and sort of get woken up. He woke up real quickly, and that was sort of that spelled the end for the Sixers in essence. And the same thing happened in Sacramento. They love to get downhill. They love to push and transition, put pressure on the rim, and the Sixers were up 14 in that game in Sacramento about a month ago, and they had to come back and win the game because the Kings were able to get downhill, put pressure, they were able to crack the defensive rotations, and then they were able to get threes out of it. So let's take a look at what happened last time, if we can here. Let's see. Oh boy.
This is our first film breakdown on the pregame live. We'll see how this goes. No pressure or anything, Austin.
Oh boy. Let me find this.
Anybody have a good dad joke while he's getting it up?
We could talk about the fact that LeBron officially is out with a high ankle sprain.
Okay, so take a look
at that. High ankle sprain, that's tough.
So take a look at this.
Out indefinitely.
So first error is this. You get to this moment, and then you see Matisse Thybulle. He tags the screener right here. That leaves the De'Aaron Fox's left hand side open to get to his strong side, get downhill, attack with his dominant hand. Instead of guarding that way, Thybulle should have rotated a little bit over to his right here and shut off that left hand, make him go back to his right because he likes the left better. So he exposes him in that area, gets to the middle of the floor. Worst thing you can do for a ball handler is let him get to the middle of the floor because he doesn't have the pressure of the sideline. You want to get him towards the sideline either way because the baseline serves as a de facto defensive pressure there, and it makes it easier for the defense to sort of surround and converge on a guy. Nonetheless, Embiid's forced to step up to stop the ball, and that's where things sort of break down for the Sixers. Here you see Tobias Harris is trying to come around the back on De'Aaron Fox, and basically you have Rashawn Holmes cutting down the middle. What happens here? Fox has a wide open look over here, so he makes that first pass. The defensive rotations are already out of whack, so he makes that pass relatively easily, forces a contest to come in and help. However, what you see there, the video will go.
You try and hit play.
Yes, and that is, of course, Tyrese Halliburton. Danny Green goes to contest, and then that ends up in a corner three for Buddy Hield because the rotations are late. When you put downhill pressure on the rim like that, the ultimate outcome most of the time is going to be that you have late defensive rotations result in open shots. And with the Kings team, a team that likes threes, a team that has Buddy Hield, who is generally a green light all the time guy, that spells problems. You have to defend with your head a little bit more, have attention to detail. You have to make sure that De'Aaron Fox is attacking the rim with his offhand, and that's a big key factor for tonight's game.
Woo! That was awesome.
That's pretty good stuff.
That was awesome. So deny middle, and point guards matter, and getting downhill creates rotations, which create open threes. They really forced Danny Green to make a decision there. He ran out above the break, which just had to leave Buddy Hield open. That's great. Good call on that.
Great stuff, Austin. Absolutely awesome stuff. Ben says, nice, Krells. Well done. All right, guys. 7:48. We're just getting ready for the game to start here. About 20 minutes out from tip-off. We got a tweet. What do we got here?
Adrian Wojnarowski says, high ankle sprain for LeBron James out indefinitely. So ahead of Thursday's trade deadline, the Lakers are faced with an extended period of time without James and Anthony Davis. So what is everyone's thoughts on that? Obviously, that's a huge deal. The fact that not only for the Lakers team in general, but also the MVP race.
I was going to say, where's the new Vegas odds? I guess it's Jokic and Giannis now, right?
Hey, Mark Henry will be joining the show momentarily, so I'm sure he'll update on all of those spread. So, all right. I want to throw this out. We have Anna Adams joining, Sacramento Proud. What is going on, Anna? Thanks for joining. This is a Sixers, outside Philly show. So we actually have a guy at the game right now. But good luck tonight. Hopefully you hang out with us. Good luck tonight. Anybody have any takes, expectations for this game?
I got a question for you guys. I was thinking about it tonight, as soon as the Simmons was announced not being in the game, and you think about the speed of Sacramento. I wonder if there's a lineup where Tobias plays small ball 5 tonight or something like that, where you could just get a Jason's like, no way. Is there a lineup where you don't have to see Dwight or Tony Bradley, I guess is my question.
I mean, if you really think about this, like, who else do they have to play power forward besides Mike Scott at that point? And also the fact that they do have enough centers to cover. Like, the only way I could see with Joel being out, that if they resort to putting Tobias in that spot, is if Dwight and Tony Bradley are both out too. Like, I just don't think they want to put Tobias in that spot, especially with not having a lot of forward depth with Ben being out and already only having Scott there. Austin, what are you laughing at?
I never saw.
If you go to Austin's video breakdown, option 1 really is a shot at the rim. So if you don't have a rim protector in there, then Fox is going right to the rim. It's only when you have a rim protector where you force that second and third option. So I don't think Tobias Harris or Mike Scott, quite frankly, are good enough at rim protection and contesting at the rim to rely on them to do it. I'd actually rather see Paul Reed out there, quite frankly, just the way that he's able to move. And he does defend in space and
yes, he
play
does.
as a defender in space.
Yeah. Now, let's. So, like you said, Jason, you made a good point about the rim protection. If you look at this play that we just went over, usually what happens with that drop coverage, essentially the drop coverage, what you're doing is you're funneling the ball handler to the rim because your rim protector can stop almost anybody. Without having Embiid there, you don't really have that option, right? Like you don't have that guy. You're gonna have to live with putting like a one-on-one matchup on De'Aaron Fox and trying to win with that. Maybe even, maybe even go a little zone just so that way you can stop. That way you can keep those passing lanes, and those driving lanes a little bit occupied and force them to just make entry passes to guys that aren't big mid-range shooters.
Yeah, I agree. You play more like a Celtics, Raptors style amoeba, sort of just switch everything, run all over the place, scramble all over the place without a true big. I think that's really the only option if you don't have a Howard or a Bradley or a Poirier. You might see him tonight. I don't know if he's active.
I like the zone idea. Sacramento, where are they at 3-point shooting wise as a team? Anybody know? They're 18th.
I mean, with having Halliburton and Hield, probably pretty good in the starting lineup wise. I mean, Halliburton has been one of the most consistent 3-point shooters since coming in the league, which I don't think anyone expected coming in. So
Barnes is a pretty good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, him as well.
They're 18th best. They're 18th best.
Is that in terms of makes or attempts?
Percentage.
Yeah, so they're not a great 3-point shooting team. You could go zone, and then you could go like a triangle or like a triangle and one or something along those lines, just so that way you keep Hield, in your sights at all times. Because if you let him heat up, you have a big problem.
Sacramento is, 21st in 3-point attempts per game.
Yes.
So what the gamble I think you're taking is to play that scramble mode, force them to overpass, and just trust that they're going to make poor decisions, and that will lead to either the wrong decision or turnovers or just shots out of rhythm. I don't, look, when you're down 3 starters, you can afford to try some things. So if you're putting Matisse in the starting lineup, maybe you do try some of that stuff.
All All right, cool. Let's go into predictions and player of the game. Lead us off, Justin. What's your game predictions and who is your tonight player of the game?
I think Sacramento might get us tonight. I really do. I do. I think the penetration that De'Aaron Fox can put on a defense is just it's ridiculous, especially with Ben Simmons not being there and Joel Embiid being at the rim. I just think that's going to be a problem for us. So I think they pull it out. Player of the game, I guess I'll go De'Aaron Fox for them.
How about you, Mike?
This is one of those games they lose by 30 last year. And it's all a lot based on what Jason was talking about around culture. And, I tend to believe that there is something different this year. And this is the kind of game that I think they actually do pull together. And I think Sacramento kind of says, oh, no Simmons and Embiid, and kind of comes into it a little bit more relaxed. I'm going to give the Sixers a chance. I think it's going to be a game in the low hundreds, high 90s in order to do it. And I'm going to say that Furkan Korkmaz, who I blasted on my last podcast or 2 podcasts ago when I had Dave Early on there and we were breaking down analytics, and I said I was done with him. But I'm going to go Furkan as the player of the game, and don't go back and look at my tweets because it won't be favorable for me.
Furkan Korkmaz is averaging 14.6 points per game on 48% shooting since the All-Star break, man. He's doing his job. He's doing his job. What about you, Austin? Austin, what are your expectations of player of the game?
So I don't really have a player of the game. I guess for me, I would think Tobias Harris is going to play a big role in this game. I think he's an easy one, so I'm going to go with him. In terms of I have more of a key to the game. For me, it's going to be if you have to turn the ball over, which they inevitably will because they're down 2 of their best players. If you have to turn the ball over, try to keep it all dead ball turnovers. The last thing you want to do is give the Kings live ball turnovers and let them get runouts. Oh, and the Sixers lose.
What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I think this is a really tough one. If the Sixers are to win, I think Matisse Thybulle is a key for them.
Oh, yes.
To create absolute chaos for Sacramento. If Sacramento, Sacramento's on the second night of a back-to-back, so the zone makes even more sense to me. Just gambling, just being sort of reckless and chaotic. They might really jump out to a big first half lead, but those second halves in the second game of a back-to-back, open 3-pointers tend to start hitting front rim, and you might just live with the risk and opportunity of that. I think it's if the Sixers win, I think Thybulle would be key to that.
I'm going to go with my guy, Dwight Howard. I've been in and out on this guy all season long. If you look at his last 10 games here with the Sixers, 20.3 turnover percentage, 117 offensive rating, 96 defensive rating. The turnovers are down. He's allowing 39.5 points in the paint in that span the last 10 games. So you look at Sacramento, they're dead last in giving up points in the paint in the league. So I'm looking for Dwight Howard to have a really strong game today. And I think the true winner of this game is who does the most damage in the paint. It's going to be tough. I just see Fox just getting whatever he wants in this game. I'm just no Ben Simmons means Matisse is going to be on the floor a lot tonight, for better or worse. So I will go Sixers lose, but Dwight Howard continues to play very, very well. Hopefully he stays out of foul trouble, because that really, if Dwight Howard gets in foul trouble early on, the Sixers are done. They are
Paul Reed.
Paul Reed.
Listen, I swear, no, I'm so serious. I'm so serious when I say this. Before, when Dwight Howard was getting in foul trouble, there wasn't a legitimate defender backup behind him. I think Reed can actually be that, at least against the Kings, with the smaller lineup they have.
All right. Also joining us now is my man, Mark. He is the host of the Tough Cover podcast. Follow him on Twitter at Mark Henry Jr. _. What's up, Mark?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Hanging in there, man. A lot better than definitely Mike. He had a rough day yesterday for sure.
Oh,
Mike, you had a rough day.
that's all good because Tony Bradley's gonna redeem it tonight. UNC
Absolutely.
said Dwight Howard. It's gonna be Tony Bradley tonight.
Well, listen, man, you got Danny Green, you got Tony Bradley, you got Harrison Barnes on the other side. It's a Tar Heel game all the way.
I love it. All right. I don't know how much longer we got, Jason. Any final thoughts? What's going on, man?
No, it's good to see fans. It's weird how spread out everyone is, but I think it'll be interesting to see. I think one last thing, we mentioned it a couple hours ago. Bielitsa tonight, you might see him. He is he fits really easily in the trade exception. As a deal that'll be really low cost for the Sixers to add a stretch 4. He's also a potential buyout candidate if he does not get traded before the deadline. So keep an eye on Bielitsa tonight. I don't know how much he'll play, but he's a stretch 4 who's shot over 41% from 3 the previous 3 seasons. Not shooting as well this year, but he's a guy you could potentially see in Philadelphia in a few weeks.
All right, Austin. Final thoughts on this game.
Yeah.
Hi, Jay.
Thank you, man. Any thoughts on trade rumors? Anything that you could? What's your gut feeling right now? And final thoughts here.
There's a lot of stuff out there. I think it's kind of taking you in 2 different directions. I don't think anything would shock me. I do think that they'll make a move, but anything ranging from Kyle Lowry to Nemanja Bjelica. So I mean, nothing would surprise me. I don't think they'll stand tight because I just don't think that's Morey's nature. But I don't foresee some paradigm shift move that's gonna turn the NBA on its head.
Did you guys hear the quote from Morey? I guess it was on the when he did the thing with Spike and Mike the other night, when he said nobody wants to trade with the team that's doing really well, and it's hard to make those trades. Someone needs to remind him that the Nets and Milwaukee just made trades. So come on, Daryl.
Well said. Well said. Mike, any final thoughts? And I don't know how much longer you're staying, but do you have any final thoughts and predictions on what the Sixers do here come trade deadline?
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind they're going to go all in on